One-foot-flipper.
Hi, Paige here, the 1-foot flipper. Things are going okay. Nothing really to complain about. Today we're going to look at some items and item categories that have ridiculously long sell-through rate. Your sell-through rate is how long the average item in that category takes to sell in months. If there's 100 items in the category currently and 100 items sell per month, then that item has a 1-month sell-through rate. If there's 1,000 items in the category and 100 sell per month, that item has a 10-month sell-through rate. Future page here, just want to note when you're calculating those sell-through rates, you do need to take into account that eBay shows 3 months of sold data, not 1, so you've just got to figure that into your calculation. Now, the first thing I actually wanted to look at is various trading cards, but you just cannot calculate the sell-through rate for larger trading card categories on eBay. The data doesn't come back right. I think it's being messed up by the multi-quantity listings or something like that. So instead I went to look at postcards. Most of your postcards are sold in 2 different categories. Topographical postcards. Those are generally pictures of places, I think, and non-topographical, those usually have people on them. Topographical postcards have a 49-month sell-through rate. Yes, over 4 years on average to sell that postcard. However, the ones that are worth more than $5, 69-month sell-through rate. That's almost 6 years to sell the average one. The average one actually worth selling, you know. And then non-topographical has similar numbers, 61-month sell-through rate, 5 years for the average one. But the more expensive ones actually have a lower sell-through rate, 54 months. All right, I sold this New Riders of the Purple Sage Panama Red LP, $7.99. As well as this 1989 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Walking Mauser, $14.99. All right, the next one is probably going to be the fastest sell-through rate of anything I'm going to show in this category, in this video, but it's going to be used Ryan's World toys. Ryan's World is a YouTube channel that's been going on for a long time of a little boy opening toys and playing with them. But it's been going on for a long time. And there are no adults collecting Ryan's World toys. At least I certainly hope there isn't. So Ryan's World toys are sold to parents because children beg for them in the store. And a used Ryan's World toy has a 40-month sell-through rate. Ryan's going to be 15 years old before that toy sells. Do you think the show will even be around anymore by then? I don't think so. I think the sell-through rate on those is going to continue to get worse. It may or may not come back 20, 30 years from now when kids who grew up on Ryan's World grow up themselves, but right now, you see that stuff in the bins, just leave it there. It's toxic. I sold this Panzer Dragoon for the Sega Saturn, long box, but no manual, $40.49. That came from that big video game buy I had a little while back. And I sold this big old Carl Rose St. Louis Steamers autograph poster for $16.76. This took several years to sell. It's, you know, soccer stuff from a defunct team from 30 years ago is not a fast sell at all. But eventually I did sell. It's actually sold to a repeat buyer. I believe he bought one of my other autograph posters from the same team that I had a few years ago. Okay, this next one I'm putting in there because everybody's expecting to see it somewhere in here, so let's just get it out of the way. Beanie Babies. In general, Beanie Babies have a 43-month sell-through, over 3.5 years. However, you could have that Bolo Princess Diana Beanie Baby, which only has a 27-month sell-through, a little bit over 2 years. If you're really stuck with Beanie Babies, however, you can put them in lots. Beanie Baby lots only have a 20-month sell-through, which makes that the best Beanie Baby sell-through in the space. I sold this vintage Donkey Party boxed kids game incomplete. Box has been totally destroyed, flattened out, $4.04. That was a Goodwill Bins pickup probably over a year ago. All right, next category with extremely slow sell-through rate is high school yearbooks. If you're selling these, for the most part, you're just doing it to be a nice person, because these things have a 5-year sell-through rate. And if there's already one of them up, don't even bother putting another one up, because the customers come along so rarely for each one. It's, 5 years. Now, if you are selling these items, these are an exception to any rules that I have where I say you should mark things down. Do not mark down high school yearbooks. They are not really sold by price. Most people tend to sell them at about $30, which is a reasonable amount of money that somebody might pay to get that old yearbook, and there's no reason to mark them down. Nobody wants that old yearbook that they're missing from their high school days and are waiting for it to drop in price. That's not happening. Now, your bolos in this space are celebrity yearbooks, which they usually only sell for $100 to $300 in general, unless they actually belong to the celebrity. But even then, celebrity yearbooks top out at around $1,000, and that's for people like Marilyn Monroe and other, 40s and 50s people that were just super famous. The real bolos in the space, though, are internment camp yearbooks from World War II and pre-segregation all-black school yearbooks. Those are the most valuable items in the space that don't need celebrity involvement and have much, much better sell-through rate. So if you're going to want to pick up yearbooks, look for those very rare internment camp yearbooks or the all-black yearbooks from the segregation days. All right, the next thing I sold is a shirt. I'm going to open it up here. I'm a little worried about this one because it sold for $120 to somebody with 3 feedback. It is a men's large 9 Inch Nails t-shirt, live with teeth, 2005. When I found this shirt, which I have 50 cents in, there were none on eBay at all, which means none sold, none history. I couldn't even find a picture of the shirt anywhere on the internet, which means I get to decide how valuable it is. So I looked and I figured out the highest price range that 9 Inch Nails shirts would ever sell in, and I started it there. I believe it was around $180 or so. And finally, after about a year, I took a $120 offer on it, and it's out of here. A little scary, but I guess the worst case scenario is I didn't lose $120. If I get scammed out of it, the worst case scenario is really I just lost that 50 cents, because that's all I actually had into the item. All right, your number 5 item with terrible sell-through rates are collector plates. Do not buy collector plates. They have a 6-year sell-through rate. 6 years. And they don't sell for much when they do sell. And they're fragile, and they take a lot of space if they've got the foam packing material. I bought them once. I still have them. Mistake, never going to do it again. However, Elvis plates only have a 36-month sell-through rate. If you think that's much better, only 3 years to sell an Elvis plate. The actual good items in this space are actual hand-painted antiques from the 1800s and early 1900s. Not the mass-produced stuff, not Franklin Mint, nothing like that. Next item I sold is this bag of G-scale train Bachmann fences, scenery, a few electrical power switches, which I sold for $19.99. Came in the big train buy. The next thing I'm just putting up here, because you're not likely to sell it, but it's that some things you would think would be just fine or a normal item can be almost impossible to sell. So we're going to look at tea. Ceylon tea has a 101-month sell-through rate. 101 months. That means if you've got that thing of Ceylon tea, it will almost 100% be expired and useless before it ever sells. It's almost a 9-year sell-through rate. And the reason why is because of a factor you'd never think of. Sellers in Sri Lanka are misled by social media videos in their native language that tell them that, you know, that they're going to make a fortune on eBay if they just buy and follow these programs. And these programs often involve them selling Ceylon tea, which doesn't sell at all. Now, looking at other teas, boba tea has a 9-month sell-through rate. Hey, it's not going to expire while you're waiting on it. Earl Grey, 18 months. Might expire while you're waiting for that to sell. And the bolo in this space appears to be the Starbucks matcha green tea powder. The bags that actually look like they've been stolen from Starbucks or Starbucks warehouse, I don't know if they actually sell them that way, but what I'm seeing is the industrial looking bags, not something that looks like it's a retail item in any way. I sold a lot of 2 Michael Jackson Laser Blazer holographic stickers. Shimona. $8.09, going international. I have quantity on those, so I do have a few more if you want to get any. All right, your number 7 long tail eBay category is emerging NFTs. You know, remember that thing where you somehow own a JPEG? This category has a 28-year sell-through rate. 28 years. Most of the items in this category are listed for thousands of dollars. However, the few sales in the category are at $250 and under. There are other NFT categories, but they're impossible to truly calculate because the other categories are filled with physical items that apparently come with some sort of NFT inside or a chance at an NFT. So that completely wrecks looking for the true NFTs in those categories. But I'm assuming those are terrible as well. I sold The Wiz original motion picture soundtrack. Oh, and original cast soundtrack. I'm so glad I looked at this title. I left the other record downstairs. It was 2 different Wiz soundtracks together for $24.99. Lotting things together can really help sometimes if you just happen to have those same items right near each other. All right, and what I might have found is the worst sell-through rate category on eBay is the photo print category. That's where they print a picture of they print a photo for you. This category has a 35-year sell-through rate. And when you look in the category, it's mostly borderline pornography, and most of the rest of it is copyright infringement. And everything that sells is highly promoted to the point where there's near zero profit. I'm sure somehow money is made through this some way. I'm betting there's places that have the entire system automated to where the order comes in, the machine spits it out, puts it in the envelope, addresses it, and does the entire thing, and no human even needs to touch it. But I couldn't imagine how much money would be involved to set up that kind of thing. And that's the absolute... So if you were thinking about doing that on your own just because you've seen it done, don't bother. Every listing you're putting in, you can expect to sit up for 35 years before it gets a single sale. I sold a golf club, Titleist milled wedge, 56 degrees, sold for $19.79. I'm well into the profit on all my golf clubs. And finally, I sold this Keishi and the Sunside Band, Part 3, vinyl record for $9.99. All right, thanks for sticking around with me today. Why don't you hit the like and subscribe and tell your friends about it. Tell the people living in your cousin's attic. They need to know too. All right, hope to see you again soon.